Greetings, people of Earth. Welcome back. My name is Jax, and today we are talking about how curiosity is the most attractive quality in dating. It's been a while since I've done a dating video, probably because I have not been dating at all. It has not been a part of my life, and it still continues to not be a part of my life, but oh well. But I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and she was on a date with a guy, and basically talking about, he was really cool, he was so interesting, he knew all these different topics and these different things, and she just had a really good date and she was very impressed. And I said to her at one point, you're very interested in this guy because he was so curious. He's innately interested in you, in what you were doing, in what you had to say. He was curious about the world and what was going on. He was curious about nature, and that quality is so fascinating. I've talked about this before, but curiosity sort of shows to people outside of you, it shows that A, you don't think you know everything, you're still aware that you don't know a lot, and B, that you're interested in finding out things. And I think that's such a good trait to have in life in general. I'm gonna try and limit this to just dating because we could talk for hours about how curiosity is so important in life, and maybe that's a subject for another video, but just quickly, curiosity in life is so important because as much as we like to think that we know everything about our, sphere of influence, we know, if you're gay, you know everything about there is to being gay. And if you're an engineer, you know everything there is to be an engineer. But that's not true. It's never true. The knowledge that you could learn is infinite, and until you kind of recognize that there's an infinite amount to learn about any topic whatsoever. I don't care if it's a video game. I don't care if it's cooking. I don't care if it's general relativity. There is always new things to learn, new processes, new ways of doing things, new mindsets, everything. And so to be curious is kind of presents you as a humble, down-to-earth, fascinating human being. I have met people who are not curious about anything, and I've been on dates with people who have not been curious about anything. And it is the driest, most difficult thing to get through, because when you go on a date with somebody who thinks that they know everything and that there's no need for any curiosity, they're not really curious about you, so they're not asking questions about what you do and what you like, that is so boring. It is so boring to be around anybody who just comes off as a know-it-all, comes off as so intelligent and so clever. I find that such a turnoff. I would much rather talk to somebody who is just as curious as I am about the universe and nature and where we go when we die and all of these things. I think it is so incredibly fascinating that we exist on this planet, and we have created all of this technology and culture and society, and we're all trying to navigate it, and we're all trying to figure out where our place is, what we're doing. And if you take the perspective that there's nothing left to learn, why? What are you doing? I genuinely think that I will be learning until the day I go. I hope to learn something new on that day, and I'm sure I will. And so it just comes down to kind of having this openness and humility to understand, I don't know everything. I'm never going to know everything, but I'd love to learn more. And that quality in reference to dating is incredibly important. Like I said, it shows that they're innately curious about you. They want to find out how you tick, how you see the world, how you interact, how you came to have the views you did. Hopefully they're curious about your friends and your family and, the culture, the language, whatever embodies who you are. Hopefully your potential partner is curious about that and is interested in getting to know you for you, because that curiosity is not only essential to be building a relationship, but it is so attractive. It is so attractive when somebody just can't get enough of you and is just trying to trying to figure you out and just, oh, when do I get to see you again? And asking you questions. And, like I've been on dates where the date was great and they were super curious and interested and we had a really good conversation, and then we go our separate ways, and 2 or 3 days later they text me and they're like, hey, you said you were really into this, can you tell me more about it? That is so attractive, because not only does it prove that they were listening to you, but they're interested and they've come up with a question, they've come up with some kind of, oh wow, that's so interesting, you said you were really into archery, how does that work exactly, like how'd you get into that? That is attractive. That is so incredibly attractive. And it's showing that humility. Like, I don't know the answer, but they do. And I'd love to ask them. And it's a great conversation. And so I think that is the cornerstone of why I find curiosity just incredibly attractive and very appealing. It's honestly your secret weapon in dating, and it has to be genuine. I'm not advocating for you to be curious just for curiosity's sake and just to look curious. You need to be inherently interested in what the other person has to say. And curiosity is one of those things where I think it's very hard to fake. I think if you're not into a topic or into a subject, it is hard to fake that kind of curiosity about it. It's possible, it's disingenuous, and it's not fun, but you can. I would just recommend being innately curious. And another good thing about curiosity is, if you're not curious about somebody, if you go on a date with somebody and you're just like, I feel like I know this person and there's really no secrets, there's nothing else to know, what you see is what you get, they're not really like my speed, that is a good indication that this person is not for you, because curiosity should go both ways. And if you don't feel the curiosity about somebody and you just feel like, I don't know, they just kind of seem shallow and they're just, if that's your genuine impression of this person, it's a good indication that this person is not for you, because curiosity is sort of that first, I honestly think it's like the first spark of attraction, because whether it's on a dating profile, whether it's like a friend of a friend and you kind of see them around, or you see them at the bar and you're just like, this person's really interesting, I'm very attracted to this person, and I'm curious, I want to learn, like, what's their name, what do they do, what is their view, like, do they see themselves in a long-term relationship? Curiosity is that first initial spark of attraction. And if you can keep using curiosity throughout the whole process of early dating, I think that's a great way to build a long-lasting relationship, because you're constantly discovering new things about each other. I watch my parents, and my parents are constantly discovering new things about each other. And it's so cool. Like, my mom will be like, oh my gosh, I didn't know you did this. And my dad's like, oh yeah, no, I really enjoy this. And then they have this huge conversation about something that they never knew about. And they've been together for a long time. So that's pretty amazing. And that's pretty special. I think curiosity is really underrated, and it's kind of under attack at this point in our culture, because you can kind of find out anything you want about a person. And so curiosity can be difficult to just innately generate, and it can be kind of difficult to have that spontaneity and that just sort of self-generated, wow, this person's so interesting. Because then you go and stalk them, and you go, you find out what their favorite color is, where they like to go, what their favorite food is, where they've traveled to. You find out a lot about a person just by their social media accounts. And I don't know, maybe that's one of the reasons that sort of the spark in dating for me has been a little bit strange, because, if somebody wants to, they can find out a lot about me. And I feel like there's not a whole lot of curiosity or mystery. Obviously there's things that I don't post on social media and I just keep to myself, but for the main part, I'm super real with you guys. People, I've gotten a chance to meet a bunch of you guys, which is so nice. And so many of you have said, like, man, you act the exact same way you do in person as online. And I take that as a huge compliment. But it also does mean that there's sort of no era of mystery. I'm not a mystery guy, I've always wanted to be that strong silent type that generates curiosity, that people are like, wow, look at him, he's so quiet. Like, I've never been that guy. I'm not him. I've always been sort of not necessarily loud, but very open and honest and hard on my sleeve kind of thing. And so I don't tend to generate a lot of curiosity. People think that like, oh, Jax has been here forever and he always will be. So there's no like emphasis or drive. I don't know. That's kind of how I feel. I'm not saying it from any kind of like self-centered way or anything. I'm just being brutally honest. So who knows? Maybe I need to spice it up with a bit more curiosity and mystery. But that is my 2 cents. Be curious. Ask yourself when you're on a date with somebody, or think of your partner and think, how does this person inspire curiosity? How does this person pique my interest and make me wonder about the universe and life and where we're going, and make me a better human being who's more understanding and compassionate? I think that's like the message of the story. So let me know what you think about curiosity and whether it's an attractive quality while dating. Do you just like to know everything about a person and then go from there? Or do you enjoy having that sort of curious mystery to unsolve or to solve, I guess, not unsolve, to solve and to figure out, because it's an interesting idea. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Definitely leave your comments about dating and curiosity and how it all relates to who you are and what you want in life. And I hope you're having an amazing day. Yeah, I think that's it. I think that's everything I want to say. So thank you so much. And as always, I will talk to you guys tomorrow.